And we do have a quorum here. Roger, myself, Tom, Paul, you're on mute. Hi, Craig and Steve are here. In the background, Jay Loudon has joined, and Rich, who I talked to extensively the other day, who's interested, local clamor, interested in maybe getting involved, volunteering with us. So that's great to have him in the background. Let me see if I can share and see if this works. The agenda. That's. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Certainly.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Okay, I'm going to make a call to order. We just done the roll call a little bit ahead of time. We do have a quorum. I don't see anyone from the public, so we can skip that. I'm going to fill in for Jay Kane. He's down in Florida for about 3 months, and I will try to. It's customary for me when I run meetings to take notes and act as secretary and do minutes. Minutes might not be quite as good as Jay's, but I'm willing to do that. So, first of all, I'd like to make a motion to approve our minutes from the December 9th, 2021 meeting.
Second.
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Second, yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Carries unanimously. Give a quick treasurer's report here, and then we have a couple invoices to approve. I did send out a little bit late the report I get from the town. I'm thinking that I will try to get that out to everyone earlier in the future, because though it's a little bit tough to read, it really does give us a summation of what's happened in the last month and since the beginning of the fiscal year on July 1st. Basically, since the fiscal year started, we have spent $14,732, and we've had an income of $17,867. So right now, for this fiscal year alone, we have a positive budget of $3,125.87. Now, of course, and we usually run a little bit ahead every year. This is a slow time of year, as Tom will probably report in a bit. And then it picks up as far as permits in the spring. As far as our total budget in the escrow account, we are now sitting on $88,069.90. So we're in good shape with that, and have been. I'd like a motion to, I have two expenses, the Verizon bill for $13.90 and two receipts from Ted to gas the boat, once at Shenecosset Marina and then at Sitco in Groton for a total of $38.24. I make a motion to approve those expenses.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
All opposed? Any opposed? Abstained? Hearing none. It passes unanimously. I haven't received any correspondence. Roger did pass on something today in email. It looks like the town is going to a new phone system, which I assume, I haven't delved into this, is going to affect our hotline. So I will take that for action, but I have no further correspondence unless someone else does. Okay, boy, this is going to be a quick meeting tonight. Water sampling. We are in good shape. Got out with Ted early in January, about a week ago. Sampled all 3 sites. Results were wonderful. We're still running fairly, a little bit elevated on Eccleston Brook. That has been the case. It's not as elevated, it's running about 100 to 150 counts on the brook mouth and the two upper locations. Paquonic River, Palmer Cove, Area E, Area C were all pristine. I love this time of year. There's just no activity in the fecal world. So we have our January open done. We also got an adverse. We did not get our 5 adverses in Area C last year, but that's a 3-year rolling average. So we had other years where we had over 5. So Alyssa says we are real good with that. So I have no other sampling needs or plans unless, we get an inch of rain with this nor'easter coming on Monday or Tuesday. But I think we're in good shape with sampling. And I'm going to keep on pulling up I would have printed out the agenda so I didn't have to keep sharing here. Pulling this up and looking at it, but I've got a brand new laptop and a very old printer. And then of course, laptops in this day and age do not have a disk drive. And the only way for me to load my old printer up is on a disk. So I'm kind of printerless right now. Craig, anything with shellfish management or research?
Nope, nothing.
Okay. Paul, Tom, permits?
Yeah, I have the reports for December. And I gotta say, the police are a problem here. They had no receipts for November. And suddenly, when I went up in December, they emptied the box and they had 35 permits. Okay, so I got 35 from them for $755. And then, I'm sorry, Town Hall had 35, police had 42, Ken's Tackle had none. And that was a total of 77 permit for $1,670 for December. And Dick asked me to go down and try to sum up the calendar year. And once again, the police are a problem because they'll put down $15 for a permit and write down it's for the year or something, So we discussed going to some other method. And Betsy recommended a prototype of a COT system. I'm not familiar with it. Maybe
I've got that on the agenda.
She hands me a blank piece of paper. I said, Betsy, that's a blank piece of paper for Christ's sake, But then she wrote a COT system. But I think we should work on that. Our system is archaic. But anyhow, I added up for the calendar year as you requested, Dick, and we sold 1,176 permits for $31,445. Now that's some of it's gross and some of it's net because Dottie would take out her $1 a permit, and I don't know what happens with the town hall or the police. So it's not like balancing a checkbook, Hopefully it's somewhat close.
Yeah, and actually I put that on the agenda after you mentioned your discussion with Betsy. We'll get to that, probably the final item.
Okay.
I'm not, as we discussed, Tom, I'm not in as much of a hurry to tally up last year's permits because the Shellfish Commission meeting has been pushed off to March at the earliest. That's usually Tessa usually is requesting information right off the bat so we can present at the usual January meeting. But I will get with you and I'm going to I've been threatening to try to put together some type of maybe a bar graph or some type of analysis on permit sales for the last 5 years. And I am good to my word. I will get to it when I start working on 2020 with you. Probably next week or two, maybe we can meet at the office, put a space heater on and delve into
there's 12 different types of licenses, There's 12 different types of licenses and like weekly, non-resident 4 or so.
Yeah. We do very few weekly, very few monthly, but those are categories we have. That might be a discussion. Yeah,
resident
seniors,
senior, 7
Yep.
for the year.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we could cut, make this a lot easier, I think.
Yep, yeah. Well, let's get to that. That's the final agenda item, and as an initiative for this year is to get into the 21st century with permitting. And we
Throw
could
away
maybe
our
make,
$10,000 worth of receipt books.
yeah. Well, I'm not worried about that. That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. I'm not too worried about that. So, okay, next on the agenda. Yeah, I just wanted commercial leases. I did sign off with Danielle, CM 3, 4, and 5. We put the paperwork together and I sat down, and I believe Jay has entered that into the Oyster book at Town Hall and into the Oyster book record that we have in the office. So those CMs, we're hoping that Danielle, if this clam initiative gets going, that this would be a good place to, in the future, grow things out. Though, well, we'll get to that subject where we are with that in a little bit.
Hey, Dick, did she ever get a beefed up scope of work to you?
No, yeah, we can. Well, why don't we touch base now? I talked to her and I talked to Jim Markow a few weeks ago and said we really need a budget. We need a better scope of work. Haven't heard anything. I included them on this agenda. I am going to, after this meeting, I will send something to Danielle, or I'll go down there and say, I need to probably sit down with you and Jim. And I may even invite Shannon in from the state because there's a permitting issue. I'm getting the feel that Jim doesn't have a lot of enthusiasm for the grow out part of this. We may want to break it into 2 parts. Fund the first part, which is in situ in the lab there, to see if we can actually culture hard shell clams. And then there's the more, well, I won't say the more difficult, but the more problematic part would be using CM3, 4, and 5 to grow these out to some type of size. And of course, there's permit, and that's why Shannon might need to be involved. But that's what I was trying to get. Jim said, he even asked me, what do you think the commission would like to spend on this? And I said, well, I'm hesitant to give you a firm figure, but I said, we've been kicking around $5,000 or $10,000. And he nodded and just haven't heard, he's a busy guy. So I think I need to personally get in their face in a nice sort of way and sit down with them. Okay.
Well, if you do end up having to sit down, give me a heads up.
Okay. Okay.
I'm asking, not because I think anything should be contingent on
Yeah.
the scope of work. I'm just asking because, I'm interested and I'm willing to give, some input and suggestions.
Yeah.
If
I
you run
will-
into some rate limiting steps somewhere.
Let me send an email out. I will copy you and maybe Shannon. Well, maybe I won't bring Shannon in at this point, but Danielle and Jim, I think maybe we haven't been real clear with them. But I thought I had been clear that we really just needed a refined scope of work. And as I say, if we need to break this into 2 phases, the exploratory culturing phase in the lab, see if it even works, and maybe fund that. And then, explore the grow out phase. That's fine. So we might end up with a whole bunch of little seed clams in the lab in March or April that we really aren't prepared for grow out, but we'll figure out what to do with them. I'll coordinate with the state. We might just, broadcast them out there. I'll get the permit and broadcast the little clams in the Pequannock River. We know they're going to probably be crab bait, but yeah, I'm going to more directly intercede with this, and you'll see an email from me. Boat status, boats are fine, or the boat is fine. We took it out the other day. It's running well. I've gotten real strict with Ted and myself to wear the Gumby suits out there. And they're a little bit of a pain to put on, but we are dealing with cold weather conditions, cold water conditions. So when stuff goes bad on the water, it really goes bad, and it goes bad quickly. So and I basically told Ted that our management plan restricts single boat operator operations, during the winter period. So he and JC will just have to make do as far as warden inspections. But I did lay down the law with both him and me. We get a little lax with this stuff, but we need to follow our own guidance. And we are. Let's see. That's not what I need. Where did it go? Oh, I zapped it. Let me get that back, guys. I closed it out. And okay, new business. We talked about the clam culture at the hatchery. That's, as I say, I really will follow through. We need a resolution on, on a scope of work and a funding request from those guys. Warden activity. I talked to Ted the other day. Let me give you a little bit of an update. I don't want to get into the senior warden's health conditions, but he's not in real good shape. He's at home, quite weak, a lot of medication, painkillers. So basically, I have talked to Ted a little bit, and Ted has been very good covering the senior warden's duties. We really do need someone at the helm. JC is a little bit new and needs some guidance, and there's schedules to arrange and all that. So I told Ted, I'm treading carefully. Al Potter has been with us 25 years. I do not want to push the issue. I don't think he's ever going to come back to work as a warden. I don't want to push the issue of resignation or anything like that in respect to Al. And you kind of got his position mothballed right now. I would like to propose to the group here that since Ted has really taken the helm and has been coordinating schedules and supervision of JC and all that, I would like to approach, with everyone's authorization, approach HR and put Ted into an interim senior warden status, pay-wise and duty-wise. What do you guys think about that before I make a motion?
Yeah, sounds like what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's
Okay. Yeah, he has been very proactive, and I think, and he feels he's a little bit, since he's kind of giving guidance to JC, feels like since he's technically equal with JC, that the authority's not there, so he feels a little uncomfortable. I will definitely check with HR to make sure that we can do this without having to advertise a position. I think this is an interim, so I don't think HR will have any problem with it. Now, if Al eventually retires in the future and we look to, and I believe Ted is the heir apparent for the senior warden position, I will want to check with HR, just make sure that we can promote him without, it may be some reason where that should be competitive and needs to be announced. I'll let HR guide me on that. So let me make a motion to appoint Ted Rathjen as interim senior warden until such time as the current senior warden, Al Potter, either resigns or returns to his position.
Second,
Second, any further discussion?
I would just,
Hearing-
hang on 1 minute. Are we gonna raise his pay then?
Yes, yeah, we'll raise him up to senior warden pay scale temporarily.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an extra couple bucks an hour. So he'll
Yep.
get the benefits and the responsibility of the senior warden on an interim basis.
That sounds fine.
Fair enough.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Carries unanimously. And I think I just have, boy, this is going to be like a record fast meeting here.
Don't
Yeah,
tell Jay.
yeah, don't tell Jay. Shellfish Commissioner meeting, as I mentioned, canceled for January 22nd. They're going to try to reschedule in March, but as everyone knows, that is completely dependent on COVID and whatever other variant comes out. So I hope they can pull it off. I find a lot of value in attending that meeting, but we'll see. Final thing is I wanted to talk about initiatives, things that we might want to explore, be working on for 2022. Number one, first and foremost, Tom brought it up, and I will get with Betsy, and I might actually go talk to Barry over, the head of Parks and Rec in Groton. There's got to be some way we can move from paper permits to some online system. I see some hurdles because you have to show, once you show up at town hall to buy a permit, or at the police or at Dottie's, you have to show your age if you're asking for a senior permit. You also have to show what town you live in. So I'm not sure how that would work, but I will start exploring that with Betsy. This might be, everyone's gone online, PayPal, whatever the case may be. There must be a way to do this. I think it'd be a lot easier to track the permits sold. I think it'd be a lot easier to run reports, a query and a report on what was sold and when, and to what group and for how long and all that. So I'm serious about doing that as a initiative and see what progress we can make to putting permitting, at least to some extent, online. Possibly you still have to go in. You can fill out the application online and maybe pay the fee, but maybe you have to go into town hall to pick up your permit and show an ID at that time to show that you are indeed 66 years old and live in Groton. I'm not sure what it looks like, but there's got to be smarter people than me. Well, there's a lot of smarter people than me. There's got to be people that are savvy on how to make this happen. I know Parks and Rec does all their programs online. You register, you sign up, you pay. There's got to be a way to do it.
You buy your hunting license online now. You can't get it at the town hall, so.
Yeah. No, I think it's time for us to make the leap here, and I don't care that we've got 40,000 blank paper permits.
I hope it doesn't make me superfluous, though.
Well, I don't know. I just caught when I was
Oh,
talking.
Tom's worried about his job security.
Yeah.
Tom, don't worry about it.
We'll find some for you to
I'll
do.
plant tomatoes this fall.
Yeah, I don't know how that. I just started thinking. Dottie over at Ken's Bait and Tackle kind of depends on. She gets a buck for each permit, but she also depends on its walk-in business. So I'm kind of something we're going to have to consider, whether we're breaking someone's rice bowl here, so to speak.
He's got a lot of permits too.
Yeah. Well,
Good point.
it bears exploring. The world is moving beyond paper, and I think we need to explore doing that too.
I think you're right. I'm more than happy to keep doing it. Don't get me wrong, but I think there's more efficient ways of doing it. I enjoy seeing the people, so.
Well, and just, carrying cash, there's a lot of reasons why this might be more secure, more accurate, and
No question about it.
give us much better records if we can go online somehow. So I will, you brought it up, and I said, that's a great initiative for the commission to explore this year.
Yep.
Anything else, guys? I mean, anything on your minds, things that we should be looking into or reviving, or?
Dick, did you ever get your maps from the town GIS guy?
No, I've been holding off. There's been something log4, sounds like log jam, some type of, I guess, a virus, computer virus that has been picked up in the GIS world. So this guy has been, I forget his name, Craig. What was his name?
I have his name somewhere.
Yeah.
Something like Nathan or something.
Nathan, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, Nathan's at HR. Well, I forget. He's been in touch with me and just said, could you be patient? You know, we've
Yeah,
had
right. I got the same thing, but,
Yeah.
and I have not bugged him.
yeah, and maybe next week I'll make a note here that I'll touch base with him. He did find the recreational shellfish map, which I need to make some changes to, especially where we have signage up indicating, boundaries of the Pequannock River and all that. And I was going to go and sit down with him on that. And he was going to, of course, Roger, print out a few more of the commercial maps for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been kind of, I think they've cleared the software issue, but he's probably really backed up. So I wasn't going to rattle this cage.
And the only other thing I've got is J.O. has asked me for the Wardens Hours. Do you want them? I have them.
Yeah, why don't you, if you would like to report those, please do.
Yeah, this is for December 21, which was last month. Ted Rathton is 49 hours and JC is 42.
42. Okay, very good. Okay, and I think we got the hours in quite timely. I've talked to Ted about that. I guess JC was complaining that, he wasn't seeing a paycheck, but it's like the best we can do is get, bug the wardens to give us their hours at the end of the month, get them in as soon as we can. And if the first of the month is a Saturday, then of course town hall is, out of business until Monday.
Yeah.
And
they're
then
pretty
we do
good
not-
about it,
Yeah.
but you got to get them in.
Yeah, that's the best we can do. And then where they fall in the cycle is when JC and Ted will get paid. And there's nothing we can do about that. When I was doing warden duties, I didn't expect to see the paycheck electronically until the mid-month at best, around mid-month.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay. Anything else, guys? Things I definitely will push. Craig and I will push the issue with the clam culture project, and Tom and I will start exploring electronic permitting. I think Jay Kane has gotten the commercial leases in really good shape. We just have a few map changes to make, but that seems to be going really well. The water sampling has been real smooth. I'll keep after that. I do need to revive the sampling MOU, which that's another priority. Get with Alyssa, finally get that in place to bump our trigger up, which might help us out a little bit. Okay, hearing nothing else. God, 7:30.
I'll
wow.
make a motion.
Yeah,
Second.
don't be too eager. Go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, I'll make a motion. We adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
Happy New Year, guys.
Okay.
Take
Yeah.
care.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
See you,
and,
See you
Don.
soon.
I will
Bye,
get some
everybody.
minutes out to you in the next day or two. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Bye-bye, and bye
See you
to
guys.
Rich and Jay.